Let me ruin Hinduism for you. Around 1500 BCE, Vedic priests tried to explain the universe with a little help from a drink called Soma. They described it as liquid ecstasy that made them feel immortal. Those drug-fueled trips became the Vedas, said to be the very sounds of the universe. Far out, man. Their favorite god? Indra, a drunken brawler who killed a cosmic serpent to free the world's water and occasionally slept with other gods' wives. If that sounds familiar, it's because it's one of the oldest stories of humanity, a 5,000-year-old plot that keeps getting rebooted over millennia. At this point, religion was pure ritual. Light the fire, say the chant, perform the sacrifice perfectly. Do it right, and the universe stays in balance. Guess who controlled the ritual? The Brahmin priests. Now pay up. Priests told the story of Purusha, a 1,000-headed giant. The gods butchered him, and his mind became the moon, his breath became the wind, and his body parts became the caste system. The priests who wrote the poem conveniently put themselves at the top. Below them, the warriors, the landowners, and the servants. And eventually, they created a category so low, it wasn't even part of the giant's body. The untouchables, who were pushed outside of the system entirely. By 800 BCE, people got tired of this, and philosophers retreated into the jungle to write the Upanishads. They asked, what if God isn't a sky warrior? What if God is everything? What if God is you? They formalized karma and rebirth. Sounds profound, right? Until you realize that once suffering becomes the result of a past life you can't remember, injustice starts to look deserved and privilege starts to look earned. To see what a life was worth, look at the laws of Manu. The fine of killing a woman of the lowest caste, a leather bag, a bow, or a goat. In some regions, widows were expected to climb onto their husband's funeral pyre and burn with them. Even today, thousands of widows are abandoned in the city of widows in India. Around 500 BCE, a prince named Siddhartha decided he'd had enough. He abandoned his palace, his wife, and his newborn baby to find a way to end suffering. He rejected the caste system, teaching that being noble was about your conduct, not birth. Siddhartha's biggest move? He ditched the eternal soul for the idea that there is no permanent you at all. A high level of dissociation. Around 599 BCE, another prince decided to walk out of his palace after his parents died. He ripped his hair out by the roots and spent 12 years wandering naked to prove he was done with the world. He preached that every creature had a soul and non-violence was the only way out. Over time, Hindu traditions adapted in response to the popularity of Buddhism and Jainism, putting greater emphasis on nonviolence and vegetarianism. Then came the epics. Krishna is a charming thief who spends his youth stealing the clothes of bathing women. Then there's Rama, the ideal man. After his wife, Sita, is kidnapped by a 10-headed demon, he rescues her only to make her walk through fire to prove she hadn't been violated by her captor. In some versions of the story, even though she proves herself, he still banishes her to the forest while she's pregnant because the neighbors were gossiping. Then there's Shiva. He once came home, saw a boy guarding his wife's room, and decided to decapitate him. Turns out it was his own son his wife had recently formed from clay. His solution? He stuck an elephant's head on the kid. Then you have Kali. She wears severed heads, sticks out her tongue, and dances on the body of her husband Shiva, who had to lay himself under her feet just to stop her path of destruction. Genuinely metal. Want more? The Agori monks live in cremation grounds and eat from human skulls. Hardcore goth. So, you don't want to be reincarnated as a bug? Me either. Well, lucky for you, there's a get out of jail free card. All you have to do is die in the city of Varanasi. Dying there supposedly grants liberation from reincarnation. Having said all this, we should remember the wisdom of the Charvakas, the first known atheist movement in history. Around 600 BCE, they challenged the system by calling the Vedas incoherent babble, and the priests buffoons, who invented rituals just to get free meals. Their philosophy was a total reality check. While you are alive, live happily. And that's not blasphemy, that's history.